you guys may remember that we had a bit of a conversation about crowdsourcing in the world of comics a couple of weeks ago, so we thought it might be a good idea to have a look at a title that comes from a background of Kickstarter for getting it going.
Yes, we did, sir. Fairy Quest Outlaws was launched through Kickstarter as a graphic novel and has now been serialised by Boom Studios. The story, written by Paul Jenkins, is set in Fablewood, a place where all of your favourite fairy tale characters live out the stories we all know from our childhood, and from Disney movies.
So far, so familiar. Obviously, fairy tales have become an incredibly popular backdrop for comics in the last few years, so we know what you're thinking. Don't think that, because they actually have come up with quite a fresh take on this.
Yeah.
Because not all of these characters want to be living out the same story day after day without deviation, because, well, why would you?
Yeah, but they really don't have a lot of say in the matter, thanks to their cruel overlord, Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, 2 M's, thank you very much.
2 M's, thank you, yes, and his Think Police, who issue reprimands for anyone who deviates from their story. And if you go too far off book, you get put in a machine and your mind gets erased.
Yeah.
It's pretty harsh, and it's kind of bad news for Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, who after centuries and decades of doing the same story have, well, kind of become really good friends, and they don't want to do this story anymore.
Yeah, so it's a setup for a really energetic story that smashes Hans Christian Andersen face first into George Orwell, and does it with a great deal of style thanks to Humberto Ramos's artwork. I mean, all these panels are just filled with motion and life and detail, and I think the characters are all really beautifully rendered.
Yeah, I think a bit of a shout out to Leonardo Olaya's colour work in this as well. It's really varied and very rich. Overall, I really enjoyed this story. I kind of want Boom Studios to get together with Jenkins and Ramos and go, let's do some more stories coming out of Fablewood, because it has that scope. It's definitely a buy from me, and it's also really nice to see that something of such high quality can come from crowdsourcing. It really does work.
No, I guess so. I mean, look, I really enjoyed it as well. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. The first couple of pages, I was a bit iffy, but then as soon as Grimm, 2 M's, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As soon as he shows up, I was actually quite hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he probably could have come up with something a bit more imaginative than Think Police. You know, it's a little too close to George Orwell, Thought Police.
Yeah.
But that's a minor niggle.
It's just a small niggle.
Tiny little thing, and overall I did really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a buy as well.
Great.